You ever get that gut feeling something big's about to happen in Edmonton? Yeah, Oilers fans, today's got that kind of energy in the air. There's drama behind the scenes, decisions that could flip the script for the franchise, and one legendary player reminding everyone why he's the heartbeat of this city. But hold on, because what sounds like good news might come with some serious pressure. Can the front office handle the heat? Or are we watching the start of a new era that could change NHL history? You're not going to believe what's brewing today. So grab a seat, hit that like button, and let's jump right in. After months of rumors, quiet meetings, and that uneasy silence that only builds tension, Connor McDavid just dropped a bombshell. A 2-year extension worth an AAV of $12.5 million. For most franchises, that'd already be huge. But in Edmonton, that's pure jet fuel poured straight into the Stanley Cup race. And here's the key. McDavid didn't do this so the team could bring in filler pieces. He did it to open real space, to force management to think big and make moves that actually shift the landscape. Let's look at the numbers. With the current roster and key names like Nugent-Hopkins, Draisaitl, and Hyman locked in, the Oilers are sitting around $79 million against the cap before any tweaks. Once Jack Campbell's buyout hits, that number bumps slightly but still leaves room to maneuver. With smart reallocations and controlled extensions for guys like Ekholm or Kulak, there's a realistic path to having $15 to $20 million in space heading into next season. And that's not just room for another depth defender or a veteran goalie. That's room for a game changer. The front office has already flirted with big swings. Last year, they kicked tires on Mikko Rantanen at the deadline. Now, with the McDavid discount, moves like that become a lot more realistic. It's a message, loud and clear. He left money on the table so Bowman can bring in heavy hitters, not excuses. The buzz is building. Fans are already tossing names around. Could it be a top-tier winger like Kyle Connor? Or maybe a blockbuster trade for a star ready to move? Every time insiders talk about the cap possibly rising to $107 million, the city's imagination runs wild. And Bowman knows it. Every quiet day without a bold move cranks up the pressure. The risk, of course, is wasting this window. McDavid didn't take less to watch third-line projects fill the gaps. He, and every fan in this city, wants impact players who can win playoff games. With that extra space, even the goalie market gets interesting. Could we see a veteran tandem come in to finally settle that spot once and for all? There's also the internal side of things. Maybe they move a contract like Janmark's to free more space without losing depth. Maybe they push vets to re-sign on lower deals. A few smart moves could open up enough room not just for one big signing, but for multiple upgrades across the board. And while the rest of the hockey world stares at the 12.5 next to McDavid's name, in Edmonton it sounds like a war drum. A rare, maybe once-in-a-lifetime chance to turn a strong roster into something unstoppable. And if it all feels too good to be true right now, just wait. This story's still unfolding, and the next chapter might be closer than we think. Just when things seem to settle, the gut punch hit. Zach Hyman, the relentless engine on the left wing, officially placed on long-term injured reserve. That news lands like a punch to the ribs, especially with the season opener days away. And this isn't just any loss. Hyman's one of the emotional anchors of this team. He's not just about goals and assists. He's pure energy, the guy who drags the team into the fight every single night. That wrist injury he picked up in the Dallas series looked under control, but the latest evaluations say otherwise. He needs more time, and time's exactly what the Oilers don't have. He's out until November, missing a crucial stretch for chemistry, especially with the team already hit by the departures of Perry, Kane, Skinner, and other vets. His absence hurts physically, but even more so emotionally. The locker room feels it. The top line loses rhythm, and opponents know one of Edmonton's most consistent weapons is off the ice for now. The call-up of David Tomasek from Bakersfield was bold but hopeful. The Czech forward was MVP of the SHL last season and led the league in scoring, Fast, smart, and confident. Now he's getting a trial by fire, lining up with McDavid and Draisaitl. That doesn't happen every day. It says two things. Bowman trusts internal talent, and the coaching staff's ready to shake up the system to keep this team competitive. But here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. Hyman's injury doubles the load on McDavid. He'll have to drive the offense not just as a superstar, but as the captain balancing lines, lifting rookies, and keeping the Stanley Cup chase on track. The connection between his new deal and Hyman's injury tells a poetic story. McDavid has sacrificed millions to strengthen the roster, and fate answered with a test that'll stretch the team's depth to its limits. The fan base is split. Some believe this is where new heroes emerge. Maybe Tomasek, maybe someone unexpected from the second line. Others worry it'll be a repeat of last season's slow start when the team couldn't find its rhythm early and dropped key points. And to crank the tension even higher, the openers against Calgary. Battle of Alberta. Absolute chaos incoming. If there's a silver lining, it's that Hyman's expected to come back fully healthy and hungry. The most optimistic fans already see his return as a mid-season spark that could flip the script. Until then, it's survival mode. And if Tomasek can hold the fort, this setback might just become the moment that bonds the locker room together. McDavid's new deal wasn't just a financial move. It was a quiet earthquake that shook the league. When the best player on the planet signs for less than he could demand, every GM and agent takes notice. It was leadership, but it was also a challenge. McDavid basically said, "I've done my part, now do yours." He gave up millions not to be humble, but to win. And to win in Edmonton. That message hit harder than any speech could, and the ripple effects already rolling through the NHL. Executives and agents across the league are recalculating everything. Some think McDavid just reset the market, not by raising the ceiling, but by lowering the standard of what a superstar should earn. Others see it as a one-off, a personal choice that can't be replicated. After all, how many players have the same pull, the same connection, the same roots in a city like he does here? Either way, the psychological impact is real. Big names with extensions coming up, Eichel, Connor, Kempe, are now asking themselves if they can still push for top dollar after McDavid set this tone. The league's in a mental chess game, because while team first sounds noble, everyone knows hockey's still a business. A discount in Edmonton could turn into pressure in Vegas, Winnipeg, or LA. One exec even told a reporter, GMs will be referencing this contract in every meeting for the next 3 years. McDavid didn't do this to be a saint. He did it because he understands the moment. That cap space he freed up isn't some detail. It's the strategy. The Oilers now have somewhere around 15 to 20 million to shape the next phase of this team. That means Bowman can trade for a star, reinforce the blue line, maybe even lock down the crease. Fans who once worried McDavid might eventually chase a contender elsewhere now see a captain determined to build one right here. Pierre LeBrun put it perfectly. McDavid wants to win in a way that, if the cup slips away, he won't feel like it was because he took too much. That's leadership on a different level. Betting your reputation, influence, and even your paycheck to push your franchise to rise with you. And honestly, it's electric. This contract creates a 2-year pressure cooker. Build a cup-caliber roster before it's time to renegotiate. Every decision Bowman makes now feels like it carries history on its back. The fans feel it too, that sense of urgency in the air. Every trade rumor, every lineup tweak feels like a step in a bigger story. McDavid just redefined what leadership means, not just on the ice, but in the emotional economy of the NHL. Whether this sparks a league-wide shift or stands as a one-of-one, we'll see. But one thing's certain. The clock's ticking and the window for glory is open. That's the kind of fire that turns an ordinary season into a legendary one. Everything about these past few weeks shows that the Edmonton Oilers are standing at the edge of something rare. almost magical. McDavid's contract opened the door. Hyman's injury turned it into a test of heart. And the front office's next moves will show if they've got the nerve to make it count. This isn't just about adding players. It's about proving this generation's ready to leave a legacy. So now it's our turn, Oil Country. Drop a comment, hit that like, and let's hear it. Who's the perfect piece to complete this puzzle?